What's up everybody, Emperor John Kill 3D Gaming, and welcome back to my Hogwarts Legacy review. We are here with part 2. Now, I'm going to warn you, there will be a mixture of spoilers and going into depth with some of the mechanics of the game that I personally enjoy and I thought really opened up this game and opened up even more. Like I said, I compared it to Dragon Age, Mass Effect. Imagine if the guys at BioWare, that I'm talking about old BioWare, not new BioWare. If old BioWare made a Harry Potter game, that's what this is like. Now that I'm playing it more and more, it takes the best of the Mass Effect trilogy with gameplay. It reminds me of Mass Effect in terms of character-driven storytelling. It reminds me of Dragon Age, especially with the fast-paced combat of Part 2 and the wizarding combat of 2 and 3 where you play as a wizard. This game also reminds me of Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, with how some of the enemy types look, with the art style. It really is an amalgamation of different WB properties and other video games that we've played before, but just done within the Harry Potter license. You know what other game this reminds me of? That has done things other games have done before, but does it better and in its own unique way, and that was South Park The Stick of Truth, South Park The Fractured Butthole, and Terminator Resistance. Those games are a clear-cut case. If you have people passionate behind the project, the game is going to come out as a love letter. That is the same thing what the developers had done here. I believe it's Avalanche, which Avalanche also did, if I am mistaken, let me know if I remember correctly. They also did the highly underrated and really good Mad Max video game. So I was already a big fan of that. And being a fan of this game, it's engrossed me more into the world of Harry Potter. Now, the main thing that's going to hold your attention is the plot. And I have a couple things to say about the plot. The plot really feels like something that could have taken place in the film's universe as some sort of spin-off film. And why do I say that? Is prominent creatures or beings that we've never really focused on in the films or in the books or even make mention is the concepts of old magic, different wizarding crisis that would happen in the old centuries before we got to the 19th century. You know, seeing the wizarding world through your own perspective is so enriching. It's something that we've been asking for a long time. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some aspects of the story that could be fleshed out more, but from where it's going, I could see it either doing a sequel in the future, which this game's doing very well sales-wise, so I can guarantee we could see more of it. But in my personal opinion, I would say, depending what the developers want to do, either paid expansions or expand the story and updates, give us more to do. Because there's plenty for you to do in this game. This game has... You ever heard the saying, style over substance or substance over style? This game gives you both. You have the substance and you have the style. Every mission is unique. Every story mission is unique. It's like, I had a hard time putting the controller down because I'm just like, alright, let me take a break, let me not burn myself out, but then I'm like, well, I want to go on this quest line, or hell, I want to go on this side mission. Like, that is what this game will do. You could take the normal campaign that would take 30 hours, do all this side stuff, and you could push that to probably 40 to 45 if you want to level up your character, be strong enough for certain missions, because certain missions, you could defeat a higher level enemy is what they don't tell you. If you're quick at the wand and you have the right spells appropriate for the enemy type, you could actually defeat enemies that are 2 or 3 levels ahead of you. But they still give you the notice that, hey, this level might be stronger, or certain quest lines tell you that, oh, you need this spell in order to progress this part, which incentivizes you to do more classes and to actually go out there and perform the missions. Say they tie in the sub questing with the main questing, and you can choose which to indulge in first. Like me, I wanted to create a wizard who is not a bad wizard. He's more like a anti-hero wizard. He'll do the right, kind of like a Wolverine if he was a wizard. I have the unforgivable curses, which that alone has an interesting quest line and one of the most heartfelt moments in the game. It caught me off guard. I mean, you feel good when you go down that quest of, okay, I'm going to use this power against all the foes in the game. You know, they make you go through it in order to basically go through some fucking hoops to get these curses. But then when you finally get, at least when you get Crucio, which is the first unforgivable curse you will receive, then you have Imperio, which mind controls, you know, Crucio tortures, aka it will stun opponents in this game. But then when you feel good about getting Avada Kedavra, you only feel good after you get it. But the mission you do to get Avada Kedavra, even though you're not the one that casts it, and I don't want to spoil how that goes down, you feel like shit. To be honest, when you finish that quest line, you feel like shit. So when you finally come up against one of the main bosses, that's not Ranrock is the main goblin boss. When you come against one of the wizards named Rookwood, it feels good to use the not the Cruciatus, the Avada Kedavra killing curse on him, because the asshole he's one of those characters that he's so good at wanting you to hate him for the time he's on screen. And that's the thing. This has the pacing with being on screen time with certain characters that you wish would get more. It does feel like it's being told in a story, either a film or a book storytelling format, but you're going along the narrative with you can choose to branch off the narrative. I plan to go back and probably create more characters and stream it when I can, when this controversy dies down. But the mysteries in this game, how can you tap into ancient magic or old magic, which is something that is referenced in the Harry Potter books and in the Harry Potter films. There is this concept of something called old magic or ancient magic. And this game, what makes you so unique is that you are a wizard who can use ancient magic. But the mystery is, what is the price for using ancient magic? How far are you willing to go to use ancient magic, whether it be good or for bad? See, the game doesn't outright give you a black and white choice system, which is something I appreciate. It reminds me of Dragon Age 2. And this is what I mean by taking concepts from other games, the good concepts, because yes, Dragon Age 2 is not the best, but it has interesting gameplay elements. How you progress your character's relationship status with other people reminds me of that. You can do a string line of quests for whether a reward or a companionship. Since there's no romance options in this game, probably because you're of the age of 15, and probably you could just have regular teen marriages, not marriages, teen relationships. I think they focused more on the story and introducing us to these characters. You being your character and customizing your character, I always like that in these kind of games. And I've always been wanting one set in the Harry Potter universe, because you just feel more complete and 100% in the narrative when it's you going on the journey, when it's you who is taking these first steps, especially at the beginning, like I've mentioned in my previous parts of the review, going through the Ollivander wand section. It makes sense how you have your own little personal powerful wand. This is the most power fantasy wizarding game you're at least going to get. And one of the things that I know a lot of people might like or really sink their time into, which is what I'm doing, is the beast questing, or the questing for different beasts to unlock. Like I compared it to the movies, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, with the Newt Scamander character and how he's like a wizarding zoologist. What you can do here is collect these different animals, either care for them yourself or sell them off to different wizards that can pay you depending on how If it's a legendary beast, a lower tier, like even the beasts have different unique properties upon catching them. If you catch a legendary beast, such as a grabhorn, which is also part of the narrative of the story mode, which is very cool, you take them back to your little zoo in your room of requirement, in this little zoo room that you have, wizarding zoo basically. You could take care of these creatures. You can use properties that they have, such as getting their fur or materials they drop for you taking care of them to craft different potions that can enhance you in the field. That's another thing that's on top of this game, is crafting potions and using attacks besides your wand. For example, there's these things called the Chinese cabbage biters, or I think that's how you say it. You just throw them, and these little cabbages with teeth just go around and start biting your enemies like piranhas. It's like you can utilize those little dangerous shits that we never imagined from the films, or stuff that's in the background. They talk about the Forbidden Forest with all the stuff that's in there. And yes, spiders are an enemy type in this game, and they bother the hell out of me. But lucky, since I have the killing curse, I can just blast those little fuckers into oblivion. And even when the game is done, I'm going to tell you how long it took me. Because by the time you're seeing this recording, I have beaten the game and I'm just going around in my free time. Before I even decide to create another character, to probably go down being in Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or even Slytherin, because the game chose me to be Gryffindor, which makes sense, kind of the guy I am. But going into the game, I want to go into it again, but I still want to explore, because even when you beat the campaign, you will have only explored 31% of the grounds. Do you understand that? 31% of the grounds you have only uncovered, and you need certain spells and abilities to go to new areas, which is why when you beat the game, I'm glad. I didn't even know this game. I assumed it would have a end game situation where you could just go around and do what you want, but I didn't know that coming in, because a couple games I have played recently that seem like they should have end game mobility for you does not have end game type of content. So yeah, I know what that feels like. And I heard the only thing I have not unlocked yet, which I think I have to go somewhere now in my free roaming, is there's dueling games where you can duel students, or you go to this arena where you can duel enemy types in the game and flex off your dark powers. Now, I don't know where the other choice in the game is to go down a darker path, because I ended the game, I got a path where it didn't seem too light and it seemed too dark. There was losses along the way. I don't know if those could be changed or altered, but I'm planning to go back and find out. And if that's the one thing I can say about this game, is you will be immersed into this world. Now, there's a couple hiccups I want to talk about with it. Across all the board on all platforms, it does have some problems. And slowdowns when you're doing specific magical attacks, like your ultimate magic attacks, it can slow things down. In certain sections, there's a couple of stuttering. The lip sync came off a couple times weird, but nothing that a couple patches or two can't fix. It's the case where even if a game has performance issues, if the game is just that good, you will bear with it. I mean, we did it for Skyrim, we did it for Fallout New Vegas, we all did it for Elden Ring. Hogwarts Legacy falls in that category. Oh, yeah, we did it for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. If a game is good and it holds your attention, it's still worth going through despite its problems. And for the price, basically being a full-priced game, I'd say it's worth it. You are most definitely going to get your money's worth. And me, since I went through it at an average pace, I beat the story within 20 hours. And now I have all this extra stuff to do now that the game is over. So when I work on another character, and hopefully live stream it within the coming week or so, when I make sure I got no full plans, because I want to immerse myself on this live stream with you guys when I get to doing it. But for now, you guys have my first impressions and a 2-part review to hold you guys over. because I was originally going to start live streaming it the moment I beat it, just to, like I always do, beat it in my downtime, stream it for you guys, so you guys can get your own perspective on the game. But I heard since there's people tracking people that stream it and DDoSing them, which is unfortunate, I don't want to put myself at risk since I had just reached my YouTube requirements and also have my Twitch requirements, and I don't want that in jeopardy because of some people who fifis are hurt who don't like people playing the game, which that is sad, and that's something you guys need to understand, and I want to reiterate this and make it very clear. Just because just because a creator behind a, whether it be books, films, or an IP itself, just because they have done or said some stupid things that we all may not agree with, and whether their views are questionable or not, you can still enjoy the creation and separate the creator from what they have done. And you have some people saying, oh no, we're going to conflate the two, and by proxy, if you support this game, you support the beliefs of, say, he, she, she, or this or that. No, you do not. I bought this game willingly. I paid for it with my own money. Yes, I bought the deluxe edition. Does that make me a bad person? No, because I don't care about the retarded arguments behind whatever the fuck they want to boycott this game for. Okay, J.K. Rowling is J.K. Rowling. So what if she says what she says? Everyone's entitled to their opinion, whether they are right, whether they are wrong. That would be like if Disney, they do a whole bunch of stupid shit all the time. You people still support the Marvel movies, and I still support Star Wars. So we shouldn't be pointing fingers and making people bad and attacking people's live stream over a fucking video game. And if anybody tries that with me when I live streaming, oh, it'll be a hell of a show when that happens. So, anyway, that's all I gotta say about Hogwarts Legacy. This is a love letter to anybody who loves the franchise. Sure as hell enough, it immersed me, and I'm going to continue my wizarding journeys. And that is all I have to say. This is Emperor John Kill 3D Game. Be sure to like, subscribe, favorite, and I'll see you all next time.